Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to Sunday. Welcome to the Business Plugs Mixer. Hi, my name is Linda Murray Bullard. They call me the Business Plug. And each Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, I say 7 p.m., but you all know that technology can make it 7 p.m.-ish Eastern Time, that I bring you business people having business conversation for business people. We talk about a lot of things on this show, and this day is no different. But before I get to introduce you to my marvelous guest, Michele, you're going to want to lean in on this. She's going to tell you about something that women opening the world. You saw the title? Yeah, that's what we're going to talk about. And so before I get there, I need two things. You know, my people be on my head about doing the right thing. So the first thing I need to tell you about is I need to tell you that if you are looking for contracts, if you're looking to learn more about contracting with your local government, corporations, state government, or federal, then you need to be in my inbox. We need to have an appointment so I can assess your needs and help you to get you're closer than you've ever been to getting that contract that's going to change your life. Because we're talking about government contracting to support small businesses to having sustainable, recurrent income, the thing that helps you to build, right? Because we're no longer doing the one and done and chasing these customers around the world. We're not doing any of that. We're actually attracting those things that we need, and we're doing that through financing, through having more customers to do what we do, right? Second to that, if you are stuck, like your business is going nowhere, you've been in the same place spinning on like a hamster on the hamster wheel, right? And you're ready to move forward. The LSMB 360 business assessment combs through 7 aspects of your business and shows you exactly where you are stuck at and how to work through that so that you can get moving, right? We're in the third quarter, guys. This year is about over. We're over halfway there. And so the goal is to get you and your business moving on so you can have a finish well. We're talking about finishing well in the fourth quarter, but you got to get there in the third quarter. And I'm also doing the Build Your Own Business 8-week course showing you how to start your business the right way, just in case you started your business looking at what other people are doing. There's a whole business concept, process, principles. I'm using Fast Track, the #1 curriculum in the world renowned and evidence-based to help move you forward. So that's everything I'm supposed to tell you. And now I get to introduce you to my guest. I'm so excited she's here. We're going to have a great conversation. Go ahead and subscribe wherever you're watching this. Hit the button so that the bell so that you'll know when we're on. And let's get this party started. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to my stage, Michele. Come on in, Michele. Hello, Michele. How are you?
I'm fine, Linda. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Wonderful
Thank you for joining me. It is great to have you. And so, Michele, please tell my audience who you are.
Okay. Well, I'll read a little of what I've got here, so
Okay.
I'll keep it concise.
No problem.
Since the 1990s, I started Collaborative Solutions, and it's a visionary organization which is dedicated to augmenting internal living, which results in the rediscovery of each of our unique purpose, commitment, and contribution while propelling society's evolution. Okay, so in and out. Very specifically conducted projects to create employment for 1 million low-income women in the MENA region, MENA, Middle East, North Africa. And this actually continues my commitment to building, worldwide in the 1991, I was going to say 1990s. I traveled to Russia to support women who were fired by then Russian President Yeltsin. He was just saying, go back to the kitchen, to which he said, they can't go back to the kitchen. They have families to support. So we set up business incubators, and many are still in existence today. We had our 35th anniversary not too long ago.
Congratulations.
And so finally, I've just conducted workshops for companies like MasterCard, Microsoft, the New York Stock Exchange. And currently, I'm just expanding to my newest project, which is Universities United. And it's about ambassadorships on college campuses, and it's worldwide. and we're looking to offer connection, collaboration, and community as we help them become the evolutionary leaders they are, and certainly for these times, which I believe many of us would agree it's deeply needed. So that's a summary.
I love that. I love that. And so to go a little deeper in that, what does that mean to the women that you have served? Like you're helping them do what exactly?
Well, I always start, Linda, with the inner ecosystem. I know our society is always telling us to do, right, outwardly. And as I say all the time, well, who we are inside deeply impacts, profoundly impacts how and we show up, how we interpret the world, how we respond to the world versus react, right? And the quality of our life. And if you're saying, well, how does that happen? I would simply say we all know how it feels when we have cold or flu.
Right.
It certainly impacts how we show up.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's a physical, challenge, so too when we have mental or emotional challenges, it all impacts how we show up. And anyone who's been successful has known that their inner game is where it all begins. And so that's where I begin in every program that I offer.
I love that. I was in a conference last week in Kansas City, and one of the speakers that really moved me talked about that inner work, right? Like Maslow's hierarchy, how those basic things that we take for granted are the same things that people need to actually put in place in order for them to move to self-actualization. Because we start, your basic needs, like how you're going to feed your family, where you're going to sleep tonight, those basic needs that some of us may take for granted because they've always been there. But there are people in sections of the world who those are true worries, those are true concerns that keeps them from moving up the rung, is because they don't know what they're going to eat, or they don't know where they're going to sleep, and so I love the work that you're doing to support women around the world. And can you talk about, if you will?
Can I comment on Maslow? So yeah. I learned that in college.
Absolutely.
As many of us may have. And what I found, some of those outlines is still, well, how do I do it? Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's really nice to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right, in this hierarchy. But how do I really live it? And so I just want to say that's also something I've learned over the years, how to do well. So I provide tools. So, what's a tool? So I'll just say I provide tools to, again, change this inner ecosystem. And you say, well, how do you do that? Well, just as we change how we feel when we take a shower in the morning or brush our teeth. Just again, as a physical example, it's just easy to use metaphors.
Yeah.
We can appreciate there's a habit, maybe some of us have, to either take a shower or brush our teeth. We know that sets us up for feeling a different way throughout our day, right?
Absolutely.
And speaking of food, what you eat, many of us also know that. Yeah, you can have a donut, and coffee, and many of us know that's really not going to set you up optimally for your day. Right? And I know the bandwagon recently has been protein, but I'll say, yeah, protein. So anyway, without going down the rabbit hole, I just want to say, I think one of my sweet spots is to recognize the gap between what we know and what we live.
Absolutely.
As long as there's that gap, our life doesn't change. So we know a lot. Many of us have gone to 1 million courses and seminars and retreats, conferences, and yet we don't see it exhibited in our life. And right, and I just really feel that's a missing link that I very much emphasize, and I hope your audience can understand why.
Absolutely. Well, I commend you for the how, because we do out here a million people can tell you what you need. You need this, you need that, you need to be this, you need to be that. And then the part that they sell you on to purchase is the how. Like, I can tell you you need all these different things, but then now you're wondering, okay, I need those things. How do I get them? And that's where the sales come in. You learn that. I've learned it very early in entrepreneurship. Is that's why people are making millions of dollars teaching you how to make millions of dollars, and the millions of dollars they're making are off you, off of showing you the how.
And
You know.
let me say this. I'm delighted, though, this program that is worldwide, and I now have 16 different universities where I'm offering this program to college students.
Mm-hmm.
It's free.
I love that.
It's right. It's free. And I say that with great joy because I feel that money has been an obstacle for many of us, right?
Yeah.
And our inability to navigate around obstacles, even something as simple, well, it's not that simple, but time management,
Yeah.
So I'll just say that, I'll actually, because I've spoken to someone recently about my suggestion, to do what you need to do, of course, to make money, to ensure you have a roof over your head and, of course, food on the table, etc. I totally understand that. And then I will say, and I think many people, probably you and I know, do this already, but I'm just making a point, and then volunteer, right? And then do something that is not with a remuneration and an exchange of monies, right? And have both.
Absolutely.
It doesn't have to be one or the other, right? Because everyone that's working with me, the person who helped me build my platform, etc., we're all volunteering, right? There's no monies exchanged, which I really love, because as I go onto university campuses, I'm not charging anything. I'm not needing a physical space because I do it through Zoom. I'm not offering it for credit, so I don't need to comply with the administration's requirements. So I'll stop there by saying I also love helping everyone become a master problem solver and knowing how to truly let no obstacle ever stop them.
I love that.
Yeah, right.
And more of that's needed, right? Because it's easy to see all the rules and regulations that keep us in place. But then when you force people, or not necessarily force, but you allow a space for people to realize their own self-potential.
Yes.
That's different. That's very different.
And let me actually,
yeah.
And a point is, I proposed this program to Columbia University, where I went to graduate school.
Okay.
They had a divisive situation between Palestinians and Israelis last year. So I went to help, and they said to me, very ambitious, we need funding, et cetera, et cetera. And so this is a perfect example where they set up obstacles for me. And I said, thank you so much. Speak to you maybe in the fall. And then I have proceeded to go do it myself with overcoming all those obstacles. So I say that to your audience to say, if you just that example says there's so much we can do, right? When the why, our motivation, our why is strong. It's hard if it's I'm supposed to.
Yeah.
Right. However, I hope you're feeling, and I hope your audience is, this means a lot to me. This means a lot to me. I've been doing this my whole life. And so there's just no question that nothing could stop me.
I love it. I love that. And that tenacity to move past up. I'm an analyst by business. So I've always learned, if you can't go through, then go around.
Under or over.
yeah, absolutely. Because that's what it takes sometimes to get things done. Because there's a million reasons of why not to, but you only need one good reason why you should do it. And if that one good reason is it supports another's living or makes another's life better, then that's the only reason you need.
Right.
Yeah. So I do commend you for that. And because it is in this time, it is definitely needed. So where I was going before, can you tell us what that looks like? Like tell us about the audience that you're serving.
They're all students on college campuses. That's my audience,
Okay.
right? I, upon seeing that debacle last year, not that divisiveness is new to our country, it's not. However, it took a very different, I don't know what to call it, level of urgency. And I would say we have that as well throughout our society. So, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm forgetting the exact question. How did I?
Yeah. Tell us what your student, who your audience is. Like
Oh,
who should
it's
be looking for you?
okay. So, thank you for reminding me. So, it's students who share some of my values and vision. And what are they? That I'm responsible for my being, that I
Mm,
am responsible for my life. And and how do I do that? How do I truly take care,
mm-hmm,
of myself physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually? That's
mm,
my responsibility. So it's nice to say that, but I give them all the tools they need to do it, right? Once
mm,
again, right? And so so that's my audience. The way I find them through either associations or platforms like Handshake that have a lot of college students.
mm-hmm,
And I ask for their CV and I ask them to tell me what's their why.
mm,
Why does this interest you? Because as I think we're agreeing, it's paramount to
yeah.
having that strong, no matter what, why, the bigger why.
Yes.
And I then accept one ambassador into my 6-month program, and then I
Uh-huh.
ask them, go find a buddy. Who do you want to work with for the next 6 months? Instead of me finding or assigning, right?
Mm,
A friend, a colleague. And, as you can imagine, that's, of course, that's important. And then I have another layer. The people who've been with me are mentors to the new guys. And
I love it.
so there's beyond their buddy, there's a little group of 5 or 6 that is an ambassador team. And then there's our whole community. And of course, there's me. So the support is provided on many different levels and all the time. Because change, well, I don't even use the word change. It's about evolutionary transformation.
Mhm.
I believe our planet is going through an evolutionary
Absolutely.
transformation, and it's chaotic, it's scary, it's frustrating, it's angering, it's painful, etc. I don't want to go down that rabbit
Right.
hole
But,
either.
but yeah, but it's change.
Well, I'm making the distinction when I see transformation, Linda, for me.
Hmm.
Change, sometimes I can change the furniture and paint the walls a different
Hmm.
color. Change in transformation is something totally new in every aspect. It's like
Hmm.
a caterpillar going into a butterfly.
Butterfly. Yes.
Totally, totally different, right? So I'm just making that distinction.
But yeah, but absolutely. And so these students, are they freshmen, junior, senior? Where are they in
Oh,
their college journey?
since I said it was just college students, I have no concern what year they're in.
No, no, no. Because I was thinking, what are you seeing trending? Do you see like more of one group, or it's still a mix all the way through?
I accept I even accept graduate students if they're doing their PhD or whatever. So I don't care as long as they're in a college campus, is all I'm looking, is that's all they need to be.
Okay. And so we look out 5 years from now. What does this program look like?
It's already in 5 different countries. I'm hoping to be, and we're in 16 or so different universities. Last month we were only 4. And I want to be in hundreds, if not thousands, of universities to offer this inner and outer support for these wonderful souls to really be the leaders that we now need. Again, a
Mhm.
new definition of leadership, totally new. The
Yes.
old, the old definition certainly no longer works, as we can see from our world. So, to really have the courage and the values and the compassion, and the sense of responsibility to give back. So for 3 months, they're mentored. For 3 months, they mentor, as an example.
Mm-hmm.
So these muscles can't just be spoken about. They need to actually, right, be practiced.
Absolutely.
So
And that's how you get stronger. Absolutely.
Exactly.
I love that. I love that. And so those people, so the people who you have in the program now, today, in 5 years, where do you hope they are?
It doesn't end, Linda. So as soon as they go through the program, they mentor others, and then everyone mentors new people. So it's not something that ends. The support doesn't end. The community is constantly growing. The workshops that we offer will always be offering, whether it be how to navigate any difficult conversation or how to be a masterful storyteller. So I'm always going to be inviting them to come and grow personally and professionally, and help society as well. So it has to be a win-win-win, a personal for you, for the other person, and for society as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That sounds very holistic. Yeah. I love that. And so anyone watching this video, this interview, what is one or more takeaways you would like them to grab from this specifically?
I think from what I've just already said, there's nothing that can stop us, regardless of how it certainly may appear. And I think part of also the program is understanding how to take in information and not be overwhelmed by it, right? And it is to not only understand self, right, and agency, but the power of community. Many of us really don't have strong communities that support us and we can feel safe and trusted in. I mean, one group, by the way, is a group of Afghani women. And if there's a group, there's many being oppressed these days, Sudan, Gaza, etc. But the Afghanis are right up there, where they were at one time going to school. There was at one time they were able to have a job. There was a time they didn't need to cover themselves, or they were able to go out. All of that has been taken away by the Taliban. Very high suicide rate there. And so, we support whoever needs support.
Absolutely. And so your information, your contact information is wherever they are watching or listening to this video. What is the best method to contact you to learn more?
Well, one way to contact me is through LinkedIn. It's Michele Risa, Michele-Risa. I think there's only one of me. So they can do that. We're actually updating the website because Universities United is fairly new. So I'm putting that on the website. So I think maybe, but I think the easiest is just LinkedIn, which is streaming on it anyway. Absolutely. And you just send me a message and please connect with me. Happy to then keep you in the loop for any and all information that, whether it be for yourself or someone you may know, right? Someone who's currently going to school. And as I said, it could be a graduate school as well.
Yeah, I posted your information in my group of people. I have this group of 600 people, almost 600 people around the world. But I did post the information that you sent me to share.
Great, thank you.
Because I want to make sure that people, because sometimes if you get so caught up in all that's going on around you and don't look inwardly, you can get lost and you can feel hopeless, right? You can feel like all the ends are happening. But I found your information refreshing. I found that it is needed in a time like this. And I thank you for saying yes, that you would come on the show and share what you're doing. And I hope that my community is we'll support you. But I think in any case, I wanted you to be seen and be heard
Thank you.
among my audience, because I think the work is important. And I love bringing on people who could educate, because there's so many people that don't know what's going on out here. And I want to make sure that my platform is a place where people can find help and find hope.
Right.
So thank you for bringing that.
You're welcome. I mean, this inner, and again, it's what we're talking about here is your foundation. You want to build a building, you need a strong foundation, right? The taller the building you want, the stronger the foundation it needs to be.
Yes.
So I appreciate we avoid often that inner voice or time. I mean, they all need to, again, I mentioned brushing teeth and taking a shower. However, there's options that all students need to do every day, just like, the importance of brushing teeth and taking shower. And so again, it's the doing, Linda, not just, this information is not just to be heard, because
Right.
again, we may know it and it's not sufficient anymore to just know it. If we don't know how to live it.
Right.
And don't know how to take these tools and, like a researcher, actually see, well, how is this tool helping my life? And is it not? Right. And, being able to be conscious enough to get off automatic and be aware, oh, wow, this no longer serves me. Right. And then what to do when you discover an old habit that or the inner critic, as an example, that may no longer serve you. A certain, voice that many of us hear more than once.
Absolutely.
Right?
But
So,
it's a way of navigating life and navigating times like these. And I think that is the biggest outcome, is that for those who feel like they're, what do I do? Or am I doing enough? Or am I doing anything? Or which direction? All the questions of uncertainties, that this presents an answer for those that want to that feel like, that have that gut, because we have that gut feeling that's saying, I'm disconnected or I'm not aligned. How do I get aligned? And so I think that your program will be great for those people who are looking for that. And the fact that you're offering it across the world to college students who, college time is a very, very uncertain time of life when you're trying to figure out some things. So I thank you for the work that you do. And I thank you for saying yes to coming on my show to share it.
Oh, thank you, Linda. My pleasure. My pleasure.
Yes, this has been really, really good. And so if you have anything else you want to share, do you have something coming up that people should be interested in?
We'll actually be having an information session where we're just opening, for 2 hours on Tuesday. Today's Sunday, as you clearly said. So from 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern. Again, check in with me on LinkedIn and come just join me, and we'll be having, people on and talking about it, sharing more information. Come kick the tires, as they say, as another metaphor, and see, again, if it's not for you. Of course, it may not be, but maybe there's someone who it would really be beneficial for.
Absolutely.
Right? And it would really be an opportunity. So you never know who you all of a sudden meet where you go, oh, wait a minute, I just learned about this program, which really might be exactly something that resonates with you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's it.
And so as I close, my name is Linda Murray Bullard. They call me the business plug. I just plugged you in to Collaborative Solutions. Go ahead and contact her on LinkedIn. You'll find the link anywhere where you're listening or watching this broadcast. And we'll see you next Sunday here on the Business Plugs Mixer. Have a great week, everyone.